Hello, my name is Julie. I was born in 1958 and raised in a middle class, father knows best type of family, the baby of four siblings. In 1971, my world crumbled when my father left my mother for his pregnant secretary. It was the 70s and I was 14 years old. Time does not allow me to explain to you the reasons why, by the age of 15, I had left home, school, my family, gotten married, and began to work. My first job experience was at a theater at the concession stand. My interview went something like this. I was brought into the manager's office where we spoke for a very few moments, and then I was asked to parade in front of him, I'm assuming so that he could check out what I looked like. That turned into him asking me to try on the uniform that I would be wearing in his office right then, in front of him. I did it. I don't know why I did it, but I did. That led to a year and a half of sexual intimidation, innuendos, rubbing against me and the other girls that were there. I was ashamed when he should have been ashamed. He should have been arrested, but none of us ever said a word. I went on to marry the father of my three beautiful children, who left me for his pregnant girlfriend. I worked for the next 30 years to support myself and my family, barely getting by, doing what it took to raise my kids and just to try to move on. I've tried to remember today the number of times I have been verbally made to feel like I had no choice but to accept the innuendos, the rubbing of shoulders, being cornered in a hallway or lunchroom, being asked to go to lunch by a married man, and yes, being sexually assaulted by a man who had the power to fire and destroy my life. I cannot adequately explain the feeling or fear of losing my job and the shame that I didn't have the guts to stand up to my abuser. After fighting breast cancer in 2003, I was fortunate enough to leave the workforce. And so, after all 10 years, I was ignorant to the fact that after all of our progress as women, that in 2016, monsters like Trump are still out there using their power to abuse women that they have the power over. I'm so proud that my two sons and my daughter know that their worth has nothing to do with how they look. They are kind, loving people who judge people not by how they look, but how they behave as citizens of our country. I have never told my stories to anyone, including my children or my mother, until now, because right now, victims of sexual harassment and abuse must stand up and speak their truth. I am so proud that my daughter and her peers in just one generation have found the courage to speak out, knowing that the consequences have not changed for reporting sexual harassment. It takes so much courage to stand up and speak out. I did not have that courage until I realized that a sexual predator is seeking to run our country. I have been voting since Jimmy Carter, and I have seen many things that were an embarrassment to our democracy. But I have never seen anything like this election. My only reason for speaking out now is the fear and pure terror that I have at the thought of Donald Trump being the leader of the free world. The heartbreak I feel over the dismissal of Mr. Trump's words and behavior. I am inspired by the women who have come forward, the grace that Hillary has shown while being attacked from all sides, and the power I felt from Mrs. Obama when she spoke yesterday saying that enough is enough. I feel empowered by the young women who are making a stand and saying this cannot stand. It's not too late to stop the madness of Trump before he sets us back to a time when America was not great for women, citizens of color, and the impoverished. Your vote counts, and I ask that you vote for your conscience, for your sisters and brothers, for your moms, your grandmothers who had to endure this type of treatment, and for those who cannot speak for themselves or perhaps cannot vote. This is no longer about party affiliation, but it is for the integrity of the democracy I love. Thank you for watching, and please share with your friends and family, and let's take back our country. Thank you.